Hello and welcome to another episode of M Review. Today we're going to take a closer look at the all-new Honda Freed. This is the latest 2020 Honda Freed with Honda Sensing, and it happens to be one of the most popular MPVs or mini MPVs in the market. Its strongest competitor, the Sienta, which we have already covered. So let's see how this fares up. Firstly, its looks. Compared to the older Freeds and the pre-facelift one, this one looks like it got punched in the face, you know? It's got a flatter front. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's almost impossible to get these mini MPVs to look good. And if you're getting a Freed, there's a high chance you don't really care that much about the looks. So let's move on. Among the facelifted variants, you only get to choose between a 1.5 and a 1.5 hybrid, which is this one. So again, fuel consumption is amazing at about 18 kilometers to the litre. But why don't we skip all that and dive into the main reason why you would want a Freed? It's 7 seats. Sliding doors on both sides. Plus, they come with a safety feature which I'm actually a bit scared to test. Okay, it worked. The first thing I noticed is the second row, it sits rather low. This only makes sense if for some reason you are really tall but have really short legs. I can't get my thunder thighs to actually touch the cushion. I feel like I'm a Chinaman on my smoke break. Just like the Sienta, the second row rolls forward so you can get to the back. The third row is pretty decent, though you still have a little bit of that toilet squatting issue. And besides cup holders, you get absolutely nothing else. Maybe just a lot of plastic. No aircon vents on the third or even second row, but hey, it's a small car. The front vents will get the job done. Is it very spacious at the back? No, of course not. But does it get the job done as a 7-seater? Yes. And don't forget, although it's a mini MPV, it still beats a sedan when it comes to space. No auto tailgate, take note. And unlike the Sienta, to hide the third row, you don't roll it under the second row, but instead, you do this. You pull a lever here, the seat drops, strap over here to pull it up, pull this, and you hang the bugger. Which is about the same number of steps as a Sienta, but this looks a little bit clumsy. Plus, it increases your center of gravity. That's going to cost you about 1 or 2 seconds around the lap in Sepang. It's got a sliding second row, which is very useful given the space that we have to play with. Oh, and speaking of play, oh yeah. Suspension isn't the best, but it works. All I can say is, if you're single, this is going to be really useful. Actually, you know what? If you're married, this is going to be really useful too. Once your wife kicks you out of the house. Up in front, the first thing you're going to notice is this nice piece of wood. Wait a second. Is this really wood? Okay, compared to the older Freed, the interior and the console for the newer one is really nice. It has a very cute climate control knob with some really nice buttons. All manual seats, so no surprise there. Plus, I don't get a sound system, so I can't tell you much about it. And everything else is pretty straightforward, except for maybe this thing. See, I've heard of a glove box, but what is this? I think it's like a mask box. Actually, no. That's where you keep the rubber. And you can see they have really tried to squeeze out every inch of storage space possible. Let's drive this thing. Please excuse my plastic passenger. Anyway, this car comes with 135 horses and 134 on torque, which is actually better than the Sienta. But I must admit, it's still a bit miserable. But it comes with a dual clutch gearbox, which is awesome. The car actually moves when you step on it. But remember, only the hybrid comes with the DCT. There are no pedal shifters or anything like that. But I can tell you, thanks to the DCT, this car is actually really nice to drive. It feels a lot better than the Sienta. Because it's a hybrid, when the 1.5 litre engine kicks in, or when you floor it, it's actually quite loud. But then again, that's understandable because it's a small engine. And because this car is only available as a parallel import model from Japan, everything is in Japanese, which is bloody annoying. It's like me trying to order Yong Tau Fu from a PRC lady. Total chaos. The windows are really big and huge, so you can see on the outside very clearly, and everything else about this car is actually very predictable, so no surprises there, except for one important thing, which is the Honda sensing. So what is Honda sensing? Allow me to explain. Number one, adaptive cruise control, which we are quite familiar with. So the car keeps a set speed and maintains a safe distance from the other car in front. And you can even control how much distance you want to maintain from the car in front. 2. Collision mitigation braking system. Basically, the car detects the possibility of a frontal collision and it brakes by itself, which is something I'm not going to test. 3. Lane departure warning, which alerts the driver if the vehicle is crossing over a lane marking without signalling. And how it does it is the steering wheel goes into a fit and starts vibrating. And lastly, lane keeping assist system, which corrects the steering when the vehicle is starting to move out of the lane. Now, all this may seem like mumbo jumbo, and when I first heard about it, I must admit, I was like, what is all this? But after I tried it out, basically this Honda sensing is really, really cool. With just the press of a button, the car is basically just driving itself. All I gotta do is just press set and choose my speed, and check this out. Not only do I have to not step the accelerator, I can almost not touch the steering at all. Because look at that, it's correcting itself and it's maintaining the distance from the vehicle in front, which I can select, you know, if I want 1 car length, 2 car length. This Freed hybrid costs about 112,000, which is a good 10k plus more than a Sienta hybrid. Honestly, I'm not even considering the non-hybrids, because if you talk about cars in this class, it just doesn't make sense to buy a non-hybrid version. So the question really is this car really worth the price tag? I'm actually quite shocked that this car comes with a dual clutch gearbox, and the Honda sensing is really awesome. But does it justify that 10k plus difference when compared to a Sienta? Maybe it all boils down to that piece of wood on the dashboard. With that, it's now time to rate the all-new Honda Freed Hybrid. And again, a very, very, very tough call between an I don't know and a buy. But I think I have finally settled with an I don't know.